what's up, guys, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have a lot to talk about today. We have some big events and a lot of stocks moving, so make sure you guys stick around to the end of today's video and let us know what stocks you are watching in the comments down below so then we can cover them in tomorrow's video. But looking at some of the biggest moving stocks today, of course, we have Tesla on the list. They have a lot of hype along with their earnings pretty soon. Even Draftkings had a pretty good day. We're also going to be covering the Apple event. So all in all, we have a lot of great news today. Make sure to stick around to the end. But Tom, what is going on in the market right now?
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, but the first thing I kind of wanted to go over was the Bitcoin ETF that's dropping tomorrow. This is going to be a pretty big deal. It's going to be the first Bitcoin ETF on the market. And right now it's set to have a pretty big launch. And I'm sure a lot of traders are going to be looking at it. So definitely look at some volatility to come in there. Who knows how the circuit breakers or anything will end up going, but definitely keep your eye on this. It should move the market, and it might even end up moving the crypto market. And, we saw Bitcoin actually kind of do pretty well today. They didn't necessarily fall off, but hey, they were pretty flat. They held their ground pretty well ahead of this event, and it's definitely setting up like we might see some type of pop on this news, but we'll just have to see what ends up happening. Sometimes you see these big events happen, and sometimes it sends these stocks, or in this case, the cryptocurrency down. So we'll just have to see what happens, but it'll definitely be really interesting.
Good stuff. So guys, please keep in mind that this ETF will not, and it's not even meant to follow the spot price of Bitcoin. I made a video explaining why this will not be the case on Sunday or on Saturday, so feel free to check that out. Long story short, Bitcoin futures are in contango, and basically that means that the price of the futures are greater than the actual price of Bitcoin, which should negatively affect the Bitcoin ETF. But we're not going to get into that too much in today's video. The main takeaway with this catalyst is that look at this is the first US listed official Bitcoin ETF, and that's pretty awesome. I'm a pretty big fan of cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I'm excited to see just how they continue over the rest of the year.
Yeah, definitely. It's a pretty big event. Lots of people are going to be watching it, and hopefully it gets some hype. And if we see enough volume and stuff come in, who knows? People might get some newfound lots of people who are older and stuff. They don't like Bitcoin necessarily, and every time we see more news come out, it seems like more banks and more people like that start adopting crypto more and more, and it just seems like it's getting more implemented into society. And I feel like that this is just another key area for that to happen. And I feel like it's really just changing the spectrum of the market.
Good stuff. And then also my stock Draftkings had a pretty good day today. They came out with news that they had a blockchain agreement with Polygon, and this will basically work with supporting custom NFT drops and secondary market transactions. Draftkings is one of my favorite stocks for the next couple of years, and even like short term right now. I love what they're doing. I think they have a ton of growth potential, and they're always looking to adapt, and they're kind of shifting into the NFT business with their Draftkings marketplace. And this was good news, and Draftkings has been struggling a lot lately, and they've been just having a lot of negative momentum, you can say. So hopefully this turns things around.
Yeah, definitely. And they always, it seems like they always innovate, make these key deals. And it seems like lately they've just been making deals left and right. They've been really, getting their name out there. And I feel like that's awesome for them in the long term. And even though they've been going down in the short term a little bit, I feel like it's creating some awesome buying opportunities. And honestly, if they start coming back down to that 45 support or back down towards like $43, I'll definitely be selling puts left and right on these guys. I love them for the long term. And with them making these deals and stuff, they're just setting themselves up for success in the next year or two.
You know it. And then I know that a lot of people were looking at Apple today with their event. What's going on there?
Yeah, Apple's actually exploding up. We can see that they bounced off that 140 support on the daily chart. They've been just going straight up ever since that. They had a very explosive move up today. They had an awesome event. They announced a lot of awesome things. They announced new AirPods, new MacBooks, new colors for the HomePod Mini, which is pretty interesting. They also announced new processors, which is a pretty big deal right now with all the chip shortages and stuff going on. They announced a new M1 Pro processor and the M1 Max processor. And the cool thing about this is that these will be in their newer laptops and stuff. And these new laptops are not, they're not coming in with these cheaper options. These laptops are going to be pretty expensive, ranging from around $2,000 up to around $6,000 at the most expensive option. And that's a pretty big deal. And I feel like that with them kind of marketing towards those premium laptops again, it's definitely good right now with the prices up a little bit. And I feel like that the laptops look pretty cool. So definitely check them out if you haven't seen them. It looks pretty awesome. They are pretty expensive though, which sucks there, but it's coming out and they're announcing all this right before the holiday season, which is great for them. And hopefully they can get this rolling and maybe they can beat the chip shortages here. I know lots of people have been worried about that, but if they're able to get all this rolled out before Christmas, that would be amazing for them.
There we go. And then I know this is a little bit off topic, but there's a setup that I recently found in the market that I think looks really good, and that is CHWY. So this is Chewy. This is an e-commerce company for pets, and they're growing at a pretty great rate. And then at the same time, with everything that happened in the world over the past 2 years, with just like I guess you could say just the explosion of e-commerce and everything online, I feel like they're at a pretty good level. And this is more of a longer term play for me, but I just really like the setup and I wanted to share it with everyone.
I think it looks pretty solid too. It's bouncing off that really good $60 support where it's hit a ton of times in the past. And it's definitely looking like it created a pretty good, bottom level down there. So it looks like it's turning up pretty well. And I think it has a lot of momentum today, up 3.75%. And it had a really strong close.
You know it. So let's get right into today's member of the day, which is Paulie D. So huge shout out, Paulie D. Thanks for being a great member of the Stocked Up Discord. You're pretty active and you had a pretty awesome trade today with Neo. I know that stock exploded up. So congratulations on that trade and awesome job today. So huge shout out to Paulie D. Thanks for all of the activity within the chat. And then Tom, actually, our first momentum play is Neo. So what levels should we be watching for tomorrow?
Yep, just go ahead and make Neo break out above $40. That's going to be an awesome psychological level as well. And I could see them really breaking this. They had an explosive move up today. And if that continues into tomorrow, that would be awesome.
Sounds good. With the next momentum play, we have Baidu.
Yep, BIDU, a Chinese stock. They had a pretty good pre-market today. I would say make them break out above 172.
All right, and then with the last one, we have Chewy.
CHWY, the awesome stock, ran up towards $66 at close. Make them break out above that, but if they break out above that before or during pre-market trading, then make them break 66.25.
There we go. So we are watching these three stocks for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow, but only if they break above the levels Tom listed. All of them had pretty much great days today, so definitely keep them on your watch list for tomorrow. And then Tom, let's get right into the comments from the previous video. We have Goodfella saying, "Hey Mike and Tom, dig the show. Can you guys give LAC some love? It's up almost 100% since July, and with electric vehicles, lithium mining could be the future. What do you think?" So it's funny that you brought this one up because I've actually been researching it for a potential long-term play. I like it from everything I saw so far. I'm with you, and I am a fan of it, and I'll probably invest into it sometime soon.
Yeah, I think it looks like a pretty decent company, decent setup. I mean, it is getting pretty high, relative to the past couple of years. So it's kind of hard to buy it at the top like this. But, these companies, you see them sometimes they just soar above these highs and they just keep going and going. So I think it's in a pretty decent sector and it's a pretty innovative thing that they're doing. So I'm really interested in them as well.
There we go. And then we have Anna saying, what do you guys think about Mara and Riot and then CHPT? So Mara and Riot are those Bitcoin ETFs. I mean, I like them, but if I was looking to play Bitcoin, I would rather just buy Bitcoin by itself. If I had to play either Mara or Riot, I would play Mara. It's been moving a lot better than Riot has. So it really just depends on what your goal is. Like if you're just looking to follow Bitcoin, I think you're much better off just by buying Bitcoin by itself. Nowadays, it's so easy. A lot of brokers allow you to buy Bitcoin. Like I know Robinhood, it's super easy. Coinbase, BlockFi. So it really depends on what your goals are. But I definitely am a fan of cryptos.
Yeah, me too. And I feel like that these stocks will end up doing pretty good as long as as long as Bitcoin keeps going up. If the Bitcoin ETF drops and then we see like a huge spike up, that would be awesome for Mara and Riot. And I think they have a lot of momentum right now. It looks like a pretty good play.
There we go. And then CHPT, this one's been holding its ground over like the past couple months or so. I like it, but it's definitely not my favorite play like in the market right now.
Yeah, same here. I feel like it could be pretty good for the longer term, given it's like in the EV slash like clean energy sector, which is a good thing for them. We'll have to see how they do fundamentally though over the next year or two, but I feel like it could end up doing pretty good. It's just in the short term, they've been going down a lot, like these other companies like Zoom and just companies like that. They just keep breaking supports and going down, and the CHPT is unfortunately one of those.
Alrighty. And then we have Mr. saying the biggest risk is not investing in stocks and then sitting on the sidelines and complaining. I bought these on the dips in the last few days. He said Amazon, Facebook, Apple, and Microsoft. He said even if I increased the correction from 5 to 20% to 50%, he said the market not only recovered but grew way more over the long run. Peter Lynch always mentioned this great quote. Far more money has been lost by investors preparing for corrections or trying to anticipate corrections than has been lost in corrections themselves. Buy great companies and just hold for the long run. So I'm with you. I 100% agree with you. I know when I first started trading, I always thought, oh, the market was going to crash, next month or within the next year. And then before you know it, you're just sitting on the sidelines with cash and you're missing all of the opportunities. So I agree with you 100%. And even if you do think that the market is overvalued or whatever, and you want to kind of like get your feet wet, you can always buy a little bit, like if you want to invest, I don't know, $5,000 into the market, you don't have to invest it all at once. Like you could put like 500 in now or 1,000 and just slowly average in. So there's definitely a lot of opportunities and different ways you can take.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm actually doing that right now with a company called KHC, which is Kraft Heinz. I actually like them for the long term now. And they've been turning it around a little bit over the past couple of years, and kind of like the same thing. You're just averaging in over the longer term. And I think it's just such a great way to go. And people do it with their IRAs as well. And it's such a great way to even beat the taxes if you can get those like long-term capital gains rather than the short terms. It's also like a tax strategy.
You know it. So, Tom, with that being said, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or anything you are watching for tomorrow?
I'm really keeping my eye on the gold sector right now. It's been pretty interesting the past couple of days. We've seen some up and down movement a little bit. We're getting kind of back down towards that support, but we'll have to see what happens with the Bitcoin ETF coming out. I don't know how it's going to affect gold at all, but I'm sure it will in some type of small way. But looking at it, I'm just really interested in gold. I'm also interested in anything that with Bitcoin like Mara, Riot, anything like that. I feel like will be very interesting to look at for tomorrow. But I really like how Apple and a lot of these stocks are turning it back around on the daily charts. We actually have Microsoft actually breaking out to all-time highs. So I'm actually going to be looking for like a little bit of an uptick with the market over the next couple of days. I'm definitely going to watch for this momentum, and if it does continue, I might look for like the SPY to maybe come back up a little bit.
There we go. So if you are an options trader, definitely check out the first link in the comments and the description down below. You can trade with Tom and myself every single day. You'll have access to our custom bots, daily option swing trades, day trades, order flow bots, insider trading activity, and a bunch of great other features. We have a great community within the premium portion of the StockedUp Discord. You can cancel at any time. And best of all, we have a coupon currently running where you will save over $40. It is automatically embedded in the link in the description and the comments down below. So definitely check it out. Like I said, daily options plays, and they've been pretty high lately. So definitely check it out. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe and then come join Tom and myself live at Market Open every single day on the Stocked Up Live YouTube channel. The link for that will also be in the description down below. But other than that, thanks for watching.